The snow is melting and it's starting to warm.
Is this for the new commercial?
This is the new commercial. We're recording. Why is it you always cut me off?
Guys, calm down. Let's just start it over.
It's too late. We have to start our show, which is Twist, the weekend sports talk, where you can hear banter like this with sports and interviews. Hear us on the RTF Sports Network, Mondays at 8 Eastern. Also, like our page on RTF Sports Network and check us out at rtfsportsnetwork.com.
Do you love UK sports? Michael Spencer sure does, and that is the host of the Loyal BBN Fan. Coming up next, right here on the rtfsportsnetwork.com radio network.
With your yard being your favorite escape these days, don't let mosquitoes ruin the moment. At Orkin, our techs are still hard at work, trained and equipped to serve you during this time. With a customized, science-based treatment plan, we can help keep your yard a safe haven. And now when you sign up for a mosquito service from Orkin with promo code Red Cross, we'll donate $25 to the American Red Cross up to $100,000, supporting critical blood drives throughout the country at a time when blood shortages are widespread. Click the ad to learn more.
A man that we all know and love, Dr. Seuss had this amazing quote: "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind." Simple and powerful. Be who you want to be. Say what you want to say. Wear what you want to wear. Talk how you want to talk. Be your full, 100% authentic self. And by doing so, you will identify the people that you want in your life, people that encourage you to be yourself, the people that encourage you to love yourself and to grow. Those are the people that you want in your inner circle. And those that truly love you, they're going to show themselves in your life, because those are the people that are encouraging you to be yourself. They're encouraging you to love yourself. They're encouraging you to grow and become a better version of yourself. Those are the kind of people that you want in your life. Be who you are. Be who you want to be. Say what you want to say. Dress how you want to dress. Talk how you want to talk. Be your full, 100% authentic self.
All right. Coming at you, episode 2 of Green Bay Greg. Here we go. Let's fix some stuff here. First of all, got to give this to Mike right away. Didn't take him long. Took him about 20 seconds into the episode to chime in. Appreciate it, Mike. I am going to try to do a little better this episode to interact with you guys that are watching / listening. Got a little caught up last time in the first episode. Got on a roll. Let's just say the train was going downhill, and I didn't exactly bring the brakes. So what we're going to get into today is kind of same as last week. We're going to talk about some things going on in the world of sports, things going on in the world, and we're going to get it from Green Bay Greg's perspective. One thing I realized after watching last week's episode about 415 times, because I overanalyze everything and overthink everything, spent a lot of time talking about my friendship with Mike on the mic. And ripping on him a little bit. And by the way, I watched his episode, which airs before mine. He did an amazing job. I honestly cannot rip on it. For episode 2, did a great job. That's on the RTF Sports Network Thursdays. So coming at you on. Let me just get that up here. Let's just bring this up. There we go. All right, look at that. Kind of starting, if I didn't know any better, it almost looked like I almost knew what I was doing. So I want to talk about Matt, Benzi's Bit. Benzi's Bit also comes on the RTF network before my show. We're all a part of Twist, The Weekend Sports Talk. You can find us on Twist Sports Talk and all the other social media outlets through RTF Sports Network, through Facebook, all our Facebook pages, Twist Sports Talk, our website. But the funny thing about Matt is, in our 3-man group of friends, Matt's kind of known as the mediator. You got Mike on one side, me on the other, and we'll argue about just about anything. Matt kind of tries to find the middle ground sometimes, although we have had a couple of episodes on Twist where Matt and I did go at it. Funny thing about Matt is Matt's 14, maybe 15 years younger than me. He's got a wedding coming up, which I'm honored to be standing up in. I just can't wait till they do an individual picture of him and I at the wedding. It'll look like a ventriloquist and the ventriloquist dummy. Matt's a little short. But if someone would have told me about 2.5 years ago, see that guy over there? His name's Matt Benz. You and him are going to be inseparable a couple years from now. I would have looked at you and I would have said, yeah, that sounds about right. The guy needs some friends. No, Matt's a great guy. Matt is, one of these guys that, wears his heart on his sleeve and he just does more good than I can talk about on this show. But great guy. He's fun to jab with. So that's the three of us. Our 3 shows, 3 individual shows, and then obviously we have Twist that comes at you on the RTF Sports Network Monday afternoons. We do it on Facebook as well as Twist, the Week in Sports Talk, Twist Sports Talk website. I want to jump into right away topic number 1 on the Sports Talkers. First thing we're going to get into is the match. Yesterday, you had Tiger and Peyton Manning against Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. Tell you what, for a sports fan like me, it lived up to the hype, lived up to everything that I expected it to. Even though the weather was horrible, these guys went out there and they golfed. They didn't have to. Any PGA Tour event would have been canceled, postponed, or delayed. These guys did it. They raised $20 million. The highlight of the entire time, obviously, was Tom Brady's shot from about 100, 110 yards out on 7. And what was fun about that was leading up to that point, and I was doing it with Matt and Mike as well, everyone on the planet was talking about how they could golf as well as Tom Brady. And in all honesty, a lot of people probably could have. Tom Brady was a little nervous, wasn't, hitting the ball all that well, couldn't find a fairway, if he'd have paid for it. But then he hit that shot, and then he came on hot, and he was doing well. But it was fun watching one of the greatest quarterbacks, I said one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, come down to our level on the golf course. We all do that, but that's what makes golf so fascinating. That's what makes golf so great. It's a sport where you can have one good shot and 80 bad shots, and you're going to come out again because you can do that good shot again. Full disclosure, yeah, we'll have to make that happen. Bet you Tom Brady's never hit a hole-in-one on a par 4. And that's kind of my point, is I was luckier than lucky. Talk about winning the lottery. About 20 years, a little more than 20 years ago, I was in a best ball scramble. It was a charity event in Wisconsin. I was golfing with 3 really good friends of mine. We're doing best ball. So one guy hits a shot, or all 4 guys hit a shot. You take the best shot, and everyone hits from that spot. Well, my buddy light up on the island hole, par 4, light up right before the water. Perfect shot. So the other 3 of us just went for it, hauled off. One buddy went a little bit to the left, one guy went to the right, but we were still in a perfect shot. And I hauled off. The wind picked up as I was in my backswing, ball carried, bounce in the hole. I got a hole-in-one on a par 4. I've been golfing ever since then because of that one shot. I'm not a great golfer. By no means is anyone ever going to come up to me and ask me for golf lessons. But that one shot, that one moment keeps me coming back to the golf course all the time. And that's what golf is all about. That's what made it so fun, is watching these guys become human. Next thing I wanted to talk about was the Coca-Cola 600. Now, in full disclosure, growing up in my early 20s, I was more of an IndyCar fan. I know what you're thinking. I had no idea that I even cared about auto racing. Well, my uncle would go on his Harley with his buddies every year from Milwaukee down to Indianapolis for the Indianapolis 500. Once me and my cousins got older, absolutely, dog. Trust me, dog. That was a blind squirrel, and then some, that hole-in-one. All right, so the Coca-Cola 600. I was more of an IndyCar fan, but, the Coca-Cola 600, the NASCAR event, it's done on the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, and it's done at night under the lights. That was the big thing. They didn't directly compete with the Indy 500, Indy 500s during the day, and the Coca-Cola 600 would be at night. So I was, kind of flipping on. I'm not going to watch 600 miles of auto racing. But what I thought was fascinating was that there was a 90-minute rain delay. The event did not end until close to midnight. And what was great about it was these guys now realize in this new climate we live in, they're doing 2 races a week, Wednesdays and Sundays on most weeks. But what these guys are realizing is you're going to have to deal with inclement weather sometimes, just like the golfers did earlier in the day. They plowed through. They had to sit there in their cars. And then Brad Kozlowski ends up winning. Don't ask me to spell that. I think I could, but I'm not going to try. But Brad Kozlowski ended up winning. The point of it is what I really like to see out of these guys, because like I mentioned in episode 1 of Green Bay Greg, and I'll mention it again, is I'm not so much a fan of looking at the scoreboard, cheering for a team on the scoreboard other than, go Pack Go. I'm a fan of stories. And what I really enjoy about not only the golf, but the Coca-Cola 600 was these guys know that people are just itching for sports. People want their sports. If you're a NASCAR fan, you've been looking forward all day to the Coca-Cola 600. If you're a golf fan like me, you're looking forward to that event. Then you see rain. And you know that if this would have been any other year, they would have either postponed it or canceled it. But these guys plugged through. And I really appreciate that out of them. And I'm sure the NASCAR fans would have really, really enjoyed that and appreciate that well. Next thing I wanted to get into is the Dallas Cowboys and this ongoing saga with Dak Prescott. Here's the thing, Dak. You're not a top 5 quarterback. And I know that certain of my friends, let's just be honest, Mike's one of them, Mike's probably the number 1 guy, is going to hate that I make this comparison. But there are only 2 quarterbacks in the league last year that threw for 30-plus touchdowns and had 0 fourth-quarter comebacks. One of them was Kirk Cousins, and one of them was Dak Prescott. Kirk Cousins led his team to the playoffs. Dak Prescott didn't. Dak, I get it. You are the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. You got drafted not in the first round where you get guaranteed money, not in the first round where you get that guarantee, that 50-year option by the team. You got drafted in the later rounds, in the 3rd round. You know what? Should have played better in college. Should have been one of those top. I think this is funny. Mike Malone says to me, stop wasting time with the Cowgirls. Dude, you're the one who sent me the article. This is for you. Back off. So my point is that, you know what, Dak, sometimes you're going to have to suck it up. You're going to have to look for more endorsements if you want that money. And I get it. It's a prestige thing. You want to be the top 5 level high-paid quarterbacks. It doesn't matter. Mahomes is going to blow everyone out of the water. Earn it first. Earn it and come back and then say you want more. All right. Moving on. Oh. Woo. All right, let's go to the next thing we're going to get into is something that I'm going to enjoy doing every week. I'm going to call it the Green Bay Greg Translator. And what that is I'm going to dive through different quotes from sports figures over the course of the week and kind of let you know what they probably meant to say. First one, Chase Elliott. Unfortunately, it is what it is. This is when he was in contention for the Coca-Cola 600. And when they went into a caution with less than 5 laps to go, his pit crew called him in for a pit stop. It ends up being the worst decision ever because no other guy did it. They stopped the race for 90 minutes, whatever it was. But the bottom line is what he meant to say, what the F? Leave me out there. 5 laps to go. I'll push my car 5 laps if I have to. Oh, feel bad for the guy. Same thing happened to his dad years earlier. Next one. This is Jalen Rose referencing Lance Armstrong. I don't respect cheaters. Jalen, I know some people really don't have the greatest of memories, and my memory might be a little better than most. You did play with a guy. His name is Chris Webber. Look it up. Remember what happened in Michigan? Remember why you guys don't have titles hanging around? He cheated. And don't tell me, it's not the same thing. I get it, but cheating's cheating. Dude, back off. You know what? Why don't you talk to Chris Webber first? Oh. Next one. This is Reggie Bush. When asked if college athletes should be paid, it's going to destroy some people, referencing that some people who don't come from a lot of money. and then they get money. It'll destroy them. Reggie, this is the time when someone asks you a question, you're allowed to say, you know what, I'm going to pass on this one. I don't think I'm an appropriate person to talk about this. Dude, you got your Heisman Trophy taken away because they found out that your parents were taking money. Dude, it's going to destroy some people? Yeah, your credibility. Back off. You don't need to answer this one. Step away from the table. Oh, all right. Next one is the best one. Tom Brady lining up on second shot on hole 7, on the 7th hole. Third shot, par 5. And Chuck's giving him a hard time. Charles Barkley's giving him a hard time, telling him that Charles is going to give Tom a couple of strokes on the side. He can beat him. Tom takes the shot. Everyone's going nuts. Tom pumps his fist, looks at the camera and goes, "Suck on that, Charles." Here's what he meant to say. No, that was about right. Pretty much nailed it. Suck on that, Charles. That was the ultimate scoreboard in your face. All right. The next thing I want to get into outside the arena. And see, we got to. Yeah. Thanks, dog. All right. Outside the arena. Now, outside the world of sports, we just went